I ask you a question. Do we have democracy in America? Democracy lies buried under the grave of our founding fathers, George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. A president ought to be a person with exceptional intellect and uncompromising integrity. The form of government we have in America and in most nations on earth is not really democracy. It is government of the rich and powerful, by the rich and powerful, and for the rich and powerful. My dear fellow human beings, please let us wake up. For a very long time, we have not had any president, senator, or congressman, or any elected government representative who truly represents America, who truly represents ordinary Americans. For a very long time, we have not had any elected representative who truly deserves to be elected. Our standards are unfortunately and tragically very low. It is very easy to become an elected representative through votes. Challenge is to become one through intellect and integrity, through competence and ability. The only ability we are seeing is the ability to raise money and to make a fool of voters. Let us dare to face facts. We voters are fools. We ordinary citizens are fools. The elected representatives we have in government is proof of our lack of intellect and our lack of integrity. Only when we have intellect and integrity, we will be able to elect people who have intellect and integrity. I would like to request scientists to study the brain and genes of politicians and business people who are so possessed and driven by greed, lust for money, and lust for power. Why can't we be satisfied with what we earn through our sweat and toil? Why can't we dare to earn through honest and ethical means? Someday, as a nation, when we have grown in intellect and integrity, I will run for the office of the president. Ever since my childhood, based on my record of character, intellect, and integrity, based on my record of service, I do believe in me we will have a president, the like of which perhaps few nations on earth have ever seen. It is a sin, I repeat, it is a sin to elect to office a person who lacks in intellect and integrity. It is a sin for such a person to run for any public office or accept any office in government or in business. 9/11 could have been avoided. Most of the losses in Katrina could have been avoided. Pearl Harbor could have been avoided. Second World War could have been avoided. The oil spill could have been avoided. Toxic chemicals leaking from chemical plants all over Earth can be avoided. A lot of tragedies can be avoided if only we develop our intellect and integrity. In every nation, there are a handful of people who are carrying the burden of mankind. The vast majority of us simply want to enjoy life. We don't care and we don't dare to develop our intellect and integrity. As children, our mom said, "Don't cry over spilt milk." It is time we learn, don't cry over oil spill. Let us dare to wake up and take responsibility. CEOs of every business should be men and women with exceptional intellect and uncompromising integrity. CEO of BP, Tony Hayward, what a shame. Let me repeat that, what a shame. I want to say something to you, Mr. Tony Hayward. Mr. Tony Hayward, please explain, how do you qualify to be called a human being? Even rats don't do what you did. Only a devil would think, act and manage BP the way you do. I refuse to accept that you are a human being. Please get your genes tested. Where is our government? The entire Washington is in Tony Hayward's deep pocket. The most powerful government on earth is in BP's pocket. The board of BP, which helped elect CEO Tony Hayward, all I can say about them is birds of the same feather flock together. Only board members who have no intellect and no integrity can elect a person such as Tony Hayward. Let us understand one thing crystal clear. CEO of BP is no different from CEOs of every company out there on Wall Street or Main Street. They are all the same. They all have the greed gene, and many of us have it as well. We have people in government who give drilling permits to oil companies. We have people in government who give H-1B visa to those who flew planes into the World Trade Center on 9/11. Our government's message to us is plain and simple. We are not responsible, we are not liable, and we are not accountable. Have we learned any lesson from Enron? Absolutely none. Have we learned any lesson from Alaska oil spill? The government deregulated the energy industry and we got Enron. The government deregulated the oil industry and we got the oil spill. History is repeating itself. Do we know why history repeats itself? Because we are stupid. Our elected representatives know crystal clear we voters are stupid. What gets us into trouble time and again is that we worship the rich and powerful. We value money. We value power. We don't value character. We have millionaires and billionaires who are bankrupt and utter broke in character. Our elected representatives, let us respect them. Let us love them. Let us worship them. Let us carry them on our shoulders. Let us donate all our money to them. But for God's sake, let us not give them control over our lives. If we elect those who don't deserve to be in office, then let us be prepared to face the consequences. Someday in America, when we have men and women with courage and conscience, I will run for the office of the president. Until then, let us keep crying over oil spill, over job losses, over bailout packages, over disasters yet to come. As we sow, so we reap. What many of us don't understand, we also reap the harvest of what everyone around us is sowing. We reap the harvest of what our elected representatives are sowing. We and everyone around us reaps the harvest of what we sow. Even the unborn child will reap the harvest of what we sow. There is a cause and effect relationship between various events. Unless we identify and understand the root cause, we cannot solve the challenges we are faced with. May God help us. May God save earth from our greed. May God wake up those who sleep and don't care. May God give us courage to do the right thing. As a nation, we believe, yes, we can. Well, here I am offering my service. In my humble opinion, never before in the history of the human race has such an opportunity ever presented itself. My challenge to my dear fellow human beings is, let us see if we can. Can we?